This week's recap: Fairmont versus West Bladen for softball and baseball. Let's do it. Fairmont visited West Bladen last Thursday for a Sac 6 conference showdown. The Golden Tornadoes were clicking in the batter's box through the first 5 innings as they accumulated an 8-0 lead. West Bladen were able to strike back in their half of the 5th inning as they began to claw back into the game. The bottom of the 6th inning saw the Lady Knights pull within one of their opponents after a sacrifice from Kaylee Allen brought across Carly Goss. The visitors were able to get out of the inning, but the pressure began to build itself up. Marley Crabtree threw a complete game for the Lady Knights, and she had help from the defense in the top of the 7th to keep the Golden Tornadoes in range. Natalie Sykes dropped a single in shallow right field as leadoff for the Lady Knights during the final at-bat of the evening. Crabtree followed behind her with a chopped single to center field to set up the game-winning run. Brenna Hester took care of the rest with a huge swing towards the left field fence to bring around the decisive runs to complete the comeback. Fairmont and West Bladen were locked in a 2-2 contest going into the bottom of the 2nd inning last Thursday. West Bladen Jackson Smith led off for the Knights, and he got on base with a walk. He would eventually work his way around to third base before stealing home on a wild pitch to give the host a 3-2 lead. The Golden Tornadoes avoided any more damage after getting out of a bases-loaded jam to conclude the 2nd inning. The Knights scored their 4th run in a similar fashion in the bottom of the 3rd, but this time, Ashton Davis crossed the plate on a pitch in the dirt. Hunter Hester started on the mound for the Knights, and he delivered a high fastball to give their visitors their 2nd out in the top of the 4th. Fairmont failed to score but held firm on the defensive side to keep their opponents within 1 at the conclusion of the inning. Fairmont's Jamarian Brown singled to right field, and he would eventually round the bases to third with 2 outs. West Bladen suffered an errant throw that allowed Brown to cross the plate to make the game 4-3. Hester kept his composure on the mound and struck out Fairmont's Trent Collins to finish the top half of the inning still in the lead. Fairmont were able to tie the game in their half of the 6th inning, but the Knights replied with 2 runs of their own. Fortunately for the Knights, it was enough to claim the victory on the night.